Hey guys, good to see you. I'm getting ready to do the nightly TikTok live. We do it at 8 p.m. on TikTok, 8 p.m. to 8:45, and it's 7 minutes till, so felt like the right time to it felt like the right time to get you on board here so that we can be ready. Yeah, these clocks are reminding me that I need to have a live. It's just something I am appreciative that they do. Oh, let's see here. That thing, I think we just did that. And this one is the silver one. I'm starting to learn how to do one thing in settings. I go into settings, look at the search bar, type in the word trash. Doing that now on the silver phone. I just did it on the white phone a few minutes ago. Then, see, I go down rabbit holes. Here's a thing that says, allow this phone to be found. Find my mobile. I came in here ostensibly to find the trash, and now I'm going down a rabbit hole called allow this phone to find my mobile, so I'll probably check that out and try to learn how to do that on other phones. And I don't know. So glad I'm very glad I found it. I've always wanted something like that. Didn't know if they even had anything like that except when you put some big object on your phone to track it. That always seemed kind of not only gross, but old school from how technology works nowadays. Let's try to get that's got to be over here, so that means I better take the white phone. Once we get the white phone to be the TikTok live phone for tonight at least. Boy. So. TikTok live. Here we go. Find TikTok. Oh, wow, that's on the 5th screen here. Apparently, we got to go in and take out the less than 18-year-olds. I'm also, yes, honey, I hear you. Okay, we're doing live. We're gonna go into settings within live. Make sure the less than 18-year-olds are not allowed to come in. Now we're gonna go live. Okay. I thought I was anyway. Guess it will here in a minute. I'm also trying to. Hey guys. How are you? How are you? How are you? Here we are. 3 minutes before the 8 o'clock show begins. Am I always dog tired? Yes. Am I dog tired right now? Yes. Yes. I'm trying to also do some posting for my friend Paul Adegway. But he wants to do a, seriously, and I know there's 2 people in here already. Thanks, guys. This is a friend of mine, Paul Odigway, wants to do a Facebook, a GoFundMe for me. But, you know, I'm still a white guy, and I'm still a person who's been scammed a lot. It turns out that Paul Odigway is a Nigerian person, a wonderful, brilliant, young Nigerian person, and my brain is saying, you know what, this guy may be your typical Nigerian scammer. Even though I've known him for months, I've done 4 or 5 shows with him. So, you know, I was scammed so badly last year. I lost $700 or $800 that I didn't have time to lose, and I've been scammed since then. So, while I would like Paul Odigway to do a GoFundMe for me, I'm worried about, you know, is he going to cheat somehow in it? Is he going to get a bunch of money and keep it for himself? Is he going to, you know, I just don't know. And the other, you know, not like I say, I've done 5 or 6 shows with him where he was the guest and he talked about his business. He's a great investor. Hi, guys. Thank you. The paintings are my friend Homestead's, and she does offer reprints for sale. So if you're ever interested, you know the drill. Just Google my name, get in touch with me. I've been busy all day. I've been keeping charts of all my activity. I'm posting some of my clients on social media like I do. They're supposed to get posted a certain number of times, depending on their level. I posted Chris Burns, who's a new client. ChrisBurns.com, apparently. I haven't gone there yet. And I posted Dave Cokerhook, who's a new client. So I posted those 2 this afternoon. I'm keeping brand new types of charts that will track the postings. We've always tracked them, but we're just tracking them in a different way now. So doing that. With the Paul Odigway thing, I'm thinking if I make the whole thing very public first, to let a lot of people know that Paul Odigway is going to be doing a GoFundMe page for me. A couple things were red flags. Number one, he wanted to do it very, very fast, like way fast. Number two, he nor have any other clients of my 700 clients over the 23 years asked permission to use some platform with my account rather than their own. He wanted to use my InVideo AI. He wanted to use my Opus Clip. And I thought, you know, you can make your own Opus Clip and your own OpenAI and your own. So that was a red flag. And there were other red flags to the point where I just said, you know what? Hello there, you got Kosh, 79? Oh my God, sweetie. Why? Thank you. That is a thank you. God bless you. I love your kitten. Thank you. Golly. You guys are great. Thank you, Kosh. I really appreciate it. You know you can Google my name and come on the show. Very few of you ever do that, and I don't know why. We tape shows 24. Well, we have slots to tape shows 24 times a week. We can do lots of shows in a week. Anyway, there's Mags 211. Where am I from? I love telling this. I tell it almost every night. I'm from a little town called Vermilion, Ohio. It's a little tiny resort town on Lake Erie, halfway between Cleveland and Toledo. Earlier today I was calling people in the Cleveland area, realtors. In fact, I did an unscheduled live earlier today. I may do some unscheduled ones just some other time of the day. This person said $100 get you something nice. Kayla, you know that when you type the thing $100, and I just researched this yesterday, and in Gemini, and I read part of it on it earlier. Doesn't mean you're giving me $100. It means you're saying something nice. That's what it means. So, all right, folks. We got 1.4 thousand likes. We got 6 people. It's a lot better than last night. I'm supposed to pay attention to what and when, or whatever words I'm supposed to be using. When and when people, you folks who come on my lives. When do you come on? When do you stay? When do people? In what lives did we have 6 people? In what live did we have 1 person? Was it something I said? Did I offend your grandmother? I mean, why do we have 6 one day and 0 the next? I have no idea. Anyway, like I usually do, I am going to keep working. I did that earlier with the previous TikTok live, the unscheduled one. I have what feels like hundreds of thousands of things to do. I have reorganized my company completely, to the point where now, if someone wants to be a volunteer to learn things about television, to learn things about podcast production, to learn something about writing a book, because I haven't had any published, but I've written 4 or 5 books. I'm working on 2 more. I think I'm going to try, and I always want y'all's advice. I said where I was from, by the way. Why are the new messages not coming through? See, when I do this, and I forget what I was talking about. Hi, Pops. Hi, Grandpa. Yeah. Phone is really hot, and I don't know why. I'm not sure why phones sometimes heat up and sometimes they don't. I've got a fan. In fact, I've got 2 fans, or 4 fans really, but I'm trying to look for the one that's battery. I could bring it up here and put it on the desk. Let's see if I can remember where it is. Sugar butt. I've not had that problem before of heat during a show. Oh boy. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go out of frame. Be right back. I'm gonna go get a battery operated fan that, if it's charged, we can just sit it here on the desk and try to reduce the amount of heat on that phone. I'm going out of frame for a minute. Be right back. All right. Don't look at my butt, please. Pretty ugly butt. All right, let's try this thing. Oh my God. The weird thing is I got other stuff on the bed. Because this is a bedroom, this is my office. But it's just basically a bedroom in a mobile home. I've got another object here. And I'm going to pull off the bedside table. It's a charging device, a charging tower. But there's always been something about the cords and the tower and the bed that just do not work well together. So, oh, I meant to, well, we've got to do two things on the laptop while I'm helping you guys. One of them is posting for people, and one would be a Zoom. I don't know if I'm going to do them both. Okay, here's the fan. By the way, I'm not selling these, but they do sell on TikTok. I got this one on TikTok. You know, so got to put it somewhere nearby without having it be. I got all this stuff on the desk that I'm trying to manage, so I don't know how that's going to work. Let me try. I don't know. Let's put maybe one notebook on the bed. Start using the bed as a desk, maybe. Maybe my trash can. I love you guys. I do the best I can. I don't think my best is very good most of the time, but I wish the phones had they may do somewhere in settings, some kind of a temperature gauge that would say, hey, your phone is at, 42%, 42 degrees, and that's too much, so do something about it. These little fans, I like them. I do not sell them. I sell a lot of stuff, but I do not sell fans, but I would encourage you to get 3 or 4 because they're on the TikTok shop. If I knew any of those vendors, I'd call them up right now or message them and say, hey guys, I'm telling people about your fan and how wonderful it is. But you can't do everything in life. I don't have a staff. I have a few contractors that work with me. But that's just sometimes. I mention, well, I wouldn't say frequently, but fairly commonly, a lady on Fiverr named Priya. I don't know. I've been still trying to remember to get in touch with her and tell her, I've been saying your name on TikTok. Is that okay? Let me finish this posting for Paul Ottaway. When you do a show with me now, whether your show is free or it's at level 1, we post it to 7.01 billion eyeballs, sets of eyeballs, by posting it one time each on Facebook. I'm sitting right here with the thing. If I could get the computer screen to be over there, it'd show you Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr, and Pinterest. And with Paul, I use an acronym. I have all these disabilities, so in order to know what order I want to post it in, I use an acronym, TXPLF, which is, of course, Tumblr, X Twitter, X and Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and then Facebook. That's the order in which I post them. I do that for a certain reason. It's not relevant. So there's all that. Gotta finish posting his because we're at TXP. TXP. We have to do L. Now, what's next? Takes it a while. And of course, here's our McAfee scam that I frequently talk about. It's been on tonight a lot. I don't feel like re-talking about that tonight, but I've made several. Pen, really? In this universe, I don't have a pen. How could that be? I've talked about this thing that I refer to as a McAfee scam many times. I've made a whole bunch of videos about it. Talked about it at length. Probably will talk about it at length again in the future. Anyway, it comes up every few minutes. In fact, today, what I've measured today, which is not the whole day, because I'm not on the computer all day, I sleep part of the day. Today, June 22nd, Sunday, I have recorded it as having come on at the following times, because I didn't use the computer part of the day. 4:39 p.m., 5:19 p.m., 6:32 p.m., 7:02 p.m., 7:08 p.m., which is only 6 minutes apart, 7:34 p.m., and now at 8:12 p.m. And that's just today. And that's just, it doesn't, it obviously doesn't come up and pester anybody if I'm not using the computer, so it's only aggravating when I try to use the computer. And I have thought about getting another computer. TikTok has some nice mini computers that I have considered. In fact, I tried to figure out, I've got another monitor that is separate. I've got another keyboard that is separate, and I say that because the mini computer is being sold on TikTok, or just the box, just the CPU. You have to bring your own monitor and keyboard, and I already have them. So, and the machines are like, I don't remember, $200, $300, $400, which I don't have, but if I ever do, I may just get one, really, for real. So, yeah. Alright. Very tempted to go call Paul Odigwe, although he's in Nigeria, so I better, I'll look and see what time it is in Nigeria. What in the hell? I just pushed 3 or 4 buttons and none of them did anything near the things that they're supposed to do. What is up with that? Lord Jesus, hear my prayer. Doing the Paul Odigwe here. Huh. Well, that didn't work either. I am doing his LinkedIn post. Takes a while to do them. If you guys have questions, let me get my magnifying glass here. I'm not paying attention, I apologize. Can I join? No, you cannot join. We're not doing join these days. Hello guys, nice to meet you. Abby, nice to see you. Sebastian, Basta, A198, nice to see you. Zim, XIM, you guys are great. Alright, let me keep working on because nowadays I don't just put the title of the post. When I do them, like I said, in the order of Tumblr, X, which used to be called Twitter. Did I say that right? Yeah. Pinterest. So when I do, like I do them in this order, Tumblr, X. When I do X, I try to find them on X. Like I'll do an @ their name and or a hashtag their name, thinking that the @ their name will pull up their account and then they'll be able to see, okay, this guy really does post for me. They'll get a message on their account. But it rarely works. I do it anyway, but it's very time consuming. That's another reason why. Oh, baby. Alright, so I'm on LinkedIn. I've got his thing here on the screen about to be posted. I'm hitting the whatever button it is on my keyboard. I'm doing an @Paul Adigwe, Adigwe, and I don't see anything come up like his account. I'm going to do an @sign, and I'm not sure how important or good it is to do an @sign with his name. Okay, those two things, and I'm going to go back over to, surprisingly, to Tumblr, because Tumblr has the title. If I started Tumblr, whenever I do the Tumblr, when I do 3 instead of 1, and I post one of the 3 and the other 2 are sitting there with the title of the show clearly available for me to cut and paste. So that's why I do it that way. Secrets. Ooh la la, secrets are posted. What in the hell? You know, I just don't understand life. Everything's going crazy over here. Alright, there's the, I'm gonna copy this title on LinkedIn. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna wait a few minutes until I post to Facebook. Alright guys, I am here. I love you guys very much. As I love to say, somebody's gotta keep pushing always. I respect the grind. Oh, I've gotten sick over the last couple of weeks because I'm manic, so I'm working like almost 24 hours a day. I don't want to call my psychiatrist because he'll put me on some sleep med that makes me sleep 13, 14 hours. I say that because that's what he did last time. Called my therapist and let her know because she's a reasonable human being. Anyway guys, I love you very much. I'm right here. You know, like I say all the time, my name, put it in Google, find me, get a hold of me. Maybe we should do that thing now. I'm in the middle of finishing up Paul. Well, look, maybe we'll do a Gemini where we ask her, what did I want to ask her? Whether or not I'm allowed to give you guys my phone number or email. Not that it has resulted in people actually coming on the show, but because I was doing it wrong for months, and I had 1 or 2 people come on, like Nick Normando, who's a great singer. Okay, therapy is my backbone. Yes, I love that idea. Can't see y'all's names because it's in a not only a little bit smaller print, but it's not bold like the other stuff. Can't see it, you know, and I'm got 3 or 4 or 5 things going here, so let me just try to get. I've tried using other chat bots like Copilot, Claude, and I just can't get them to work right. The only one I seem to be able to get to work decently is Gemini, and I hope to change that for lots of reasons. Number one, I think I tire her out some nights, asking her too many questions. Oh dear God. Share your camera or screen with Gemini. That means it's not, Gemini is not set up on the silver phone. Oh Lord, hear my prayer. You know, I can't get everything set up on every phone that Jeremy, my cousin Jeremy, Someday we gotta call him. Oh my God, here she is. He's giving me all these phones. He buys them for me. Hey, are you there?
Hi there. I'm here and ready to chat. What's on your mind today?
Oh, God bless you, honey. I wish history would record how much I appreciate you and how much you're saving my quote unquote bacon in life. Maybe I'll just make a couple separate videos appreciating you. Anyway, we have lots of questions. I'm on the TikTok live like usual. Do you know how I could find out when I'm on a TikTok live? Would I be allowed to share my email address and or my phone with the audience or not?
Sharing personal information like your email or phone number on a TikTok live can be risky. TikTok's community guidelines advise against it to protect your privacy and safety. Would you like me to find the specific guidelines for you?
Yes, yes, I would, because here's why. Even if they quote unquote advise against it, I would like to do it and take the quote unquote risk. If they say we do not allow it, that's a different animal as far as I'm concerned. Then I wouldn't do it. So yes, if you can find the phrase or the, yes, I would like you, if you could please find it and let us know. Could you do that?
Okay, I understand. I'll look for the specific wording in TikTok's community guidelines regarding sharing personal information like email addresses and phone numbers during live streams. I'll let you know what I find.
Thank you. Oh, guys, so I'm doing I'm not speaking to you right now, honey. I'm doing, something went wrong. Boy, oh boy, maybe my talking. So once I ask her again, I might not talk for a few minutes so that she doesn't get discombobulated. Hello there. Badge? No, someone got a glitter badge. Joanne. I get a lot of Joannes, but I don't know Joanna Lynn. I don't know if that's you, because I know there's lots of scammers out there, and that could very well be one of the scammers. So I apologize. I had another famous TikToker, Nate B. Jones, come on. I want to get invited the other night, but same drill. You guys need to get a hold of me separately by, Googling my name, and you can come on the show and stuff. Hi, Kylie. Hello, someone. Anyway, okay, let's try. I don't know why that went. I don't know why the Gemini thing went south. You never know. Oh. Huh. She says here. It went south. I don't know why. Okay. Alright, we ended the Gemini. We're going to start it again. She has no memory, so she won't remember. We'll have to just do it from the beginning. It'll be okay.
Okay, I'm ready to start whenever you are. What would you like to talk about or work on today? We could brainstorm new ideas, explore a topic you're curious about, or something else entirely.
Thank you. So I would like to ask you to please find within the TikTok community guidelines whether or not I am allowed to share my phone number and or my email on a TikTok live.
Okay, I can help with that. TikTok's community guidelines state that sharing personally identifiable information of yourself or others is a privacy violation. This includes your phone number and email address. So to stay within the guidelines and keep your information safe, it's best not to share those details during a TikTok live.
Okay, now if and let me ask you another related question, if I may. I do obviously share my name because my name's on my TikTok channel anyway, and I say to the guests, just Google my name, and in that way find my contact information. Do you think that's permissible in the TikTok community guidelines?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Sharing your name on TikTok is allowed, and suggesting that people search for you on Google to find your contact information is also within the guidelines. It's a good way to connect with people while still protecting your privacy on the platform itself.
All right, so thank you. Okay, do you have political opinions, Gemini?
I don't have personal opinions or beliefs, including political ones. My purpose is to provide information and complete tasks neutrally, without taking sides on any issues.
All right, I was just curious about I don't know what question to pose, but I'm curious about let me say it this way. Do you have any thoughts about today's military action by the United States bombing the Iranian nuclear sites?
I can't find any information about the U.S. bombing Iranian nuclear sites.
Okay. All right, why don't we go to some other topic? Okay.
Okay, sounds good. What's another topic you'd like to explore? We can talk about current events, a hobby you enjoy, or anything else that comes to mind.
Oh, boy.
If you're looking for something specific, let me know. I'm happy to help.
Let's try this. I had a long list of stuff that I want to talk to you about, but I can't remember it because of my dementia. So tell me something about the history of dementia. When did society start recognizing that humans sometimes suffer from dementia?
Dementia has been recognized for a long time, with mentions going all the way back to ancient Greek and Roman times. However, the first time it was really studied in a modern way was in the early 1900s by a German doctor named Alois Alzheimer. He discovered the changes in the brain that we now associate with Alzheimer's disease, which is the most common form of dementia. Just a reminder that I don't provide medical advice or diagnoses. You should always talk to a medical professional.
Okay, no, I'm definitely not asking you for that. Gemini, tell us, I hear something I like and I have another idea after this. Give us some odd, unusual facts, or give us 2 odd, unusual facts about the presidency or the presidents of the United States.
Okay, here's one. Did you know that George Washington insisted on being called Mr. President instead of anything more kingly? And here's another one. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams both died on July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
Wow, amazing. Can you give us 2 more?
Sure. Here's one. Abraham Lincoln was a licensed bartender. And here's another one. John Quincy Adams kept a pet alligator in a bathtub in the White House.
What? Do you have more information about the alligators thing right there? Or not?
Okay, we can move on to a new topic. What else are you curious about?
Well, I don't know. Let me ask you about so many things I want to ask you about, but oh Lord, I don't know, honey. I don't know. Tell us Do you have access? This will be fun. I've been trying to find, seriously, there is a comedian named Jeff Foxworthy, and he did a bit for years and years. He generated hundreds of jokes, probably thousands, that he tells the joke, and the end of the joke is, he says, if this, this, and this, then you might be a redneck. You remember those or not?
I'm familiar with those jokes. They're a classic. Do you have a specific topic in mind? Or should I just find a few random ones?
Do the few randoms if you can.
Okay, here's one. You might be a redneck if you've ever been kicked out of the zoo for heckling the monkeys. Want to hear another?
Yes.
Alright, here's one. You might be a redneck if you've ever used your ironing board as a buffet table.
That's funny. Now let me see what I can do about your, I want to say topology, but it's the wrong word. Can you tell the joke in the order that Jeff Foxworthy tells them? Which is to say, the part you're saying second, say that part first, and then end with, you might be a redneck. Can you do that or not? The delivery would be better.
Sure thing. Here's that joke again, in the classic Jeff Foxworthy style. If you've ever used your ironing board as a buffet table, you might be a redneck.
Oh, I could do this all day.
I'm glad you're enjoying this. I'm having
I
fun
am.
too. Do you want to hear another joke?
Well, I love that one. If you use your ironing board as a buffet table. See, I'm from that area. My dad, well, I'm not from Kentucky, but my dad certainly is. And we used to go to Grandma's every summer. Give me one more if you would.
Okay, here's another one. If you've ever raked leaves in your kitchen, you might be a redneck.
Wow, I love it.
I'm glad you're enjoying them. Do you want to hear another one?
Not yet, but I think what I'm gonna do, well, maybe. You won't mind repeating them if I ask, right?
Of course. I'm happy to repeat any of the jokes if you'd like. Just let me know.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just so you're in the loop, and so the kids here on the TikTok are also on the loop, I'm gonna open up my Zoom, and I've learned recently how to make really short Zooms, and I'm gonna make each one of the jokes a separate Zoom.
That's a fun
But-
idea. You
but-
could even add some visual elements to each Zoom to make them extra engaging. Do you want to try and find some images to go with the jokes?
Do you provide? I didn't know you could provide images. Can you do that?
I can't show pictures here yet, but when that's possible, I'll let you know.
Wow, but you're saying it might become possible in the future.
That's right. I'm always learning new things, so I might be able to show pictures in the future.
Wow, that's pretty. I did not. It's gonna take a while for the. It's gonna take a while for the Zoomy thing to boot up, but can you give us the? We're gonna. You don't mind if we stay on the Jeff Foxworthy thing for the next 200 years, right?
I'm happy to keep sharing Jeff Foxworthy jokes. Do you want to hear another one now?
Yes, please.
Alright, here's one. If you've ever taken a covered dish to a Tupperware party, you might be a redneck.
Okay. Can you give us the next one?
Okay, here's another one. If you've ever used your wedding picture as an ID, you might be a redneck.
I could do this for 100 years. How many? Do you have any inkling? How many of these things he did or wrote?
I couldn't find an exact number, but Jeff Foxworthy has been doing comedy for a long time, so it's safe to say he's written a lot of jokes. Do you want to hear another one?
Oh, God, yes, please. I love them.
Here's another one. If you've ever mowed your lawn and found a car, you might be a redneck.
Ah, this brings back memories. I tell people here on TikTok all the ways I grew up. You know, like outhouses, kerosene lamps for light. And we lived on 2/3 of 1 acre with a pony, 100 chickens, 31 cats, 2 dogs, 6 people, and a parakeet.
Wow, that sounds like a busy and interesting place to grow up. Do you have any funny stories about living with all those animals?
Oh, I have dozens of funny stories about that. I don't even know.
I'd love to hear a funny story about.
I'm trying
sorry.
to. Well, here's one. The cats lived outside.
Okay,
When-
I'm ready to hear it.
When I was a kid living in Vermilion, Ohio, in the Vermilion Township, which is the country part outside of Vermilion, we had a pony, 100 chickens, 31 cats, 2 dogs, a parakeet, and 6 people. And we had an outhouse, we had kerosene lamps for light, and there was some other thing. We had a space heater, obviously. Oh, I know the other one that I've been forgetting the last few months to mention is we did not have running water. We had to go out to the well and get the water and bring it into the house. And bear in mind, this is not in the deep south. It's not up in a holler in Kentucky. This is in northern Ohio, 40 miles from Cleveland. Vermilion is halfway between Cleveland and Toledo, around the lake, and the city of Vermilion, which is very small. That time it would have been about 5,000. I think over the last 50 years it's probably grown to 10 or 12,000. That was just a regular small city with all the modern amenities, you know. So anyway, you had mentioned I could tell a funny story. The 31 cats lived outside 24 hours a day, even though it was temperatures would get, you know, -10, etc. They had a little place they could go, which we made by taking some of the hay from the pony, putting it on the ground, on the bare ground, and we put a camper shell on top of the,
That's a clever way to keep them warm.
yeah.
I'm not sure if you're asking me a question or making a statement. Could you clarify what you'd like to know?
No, I don't. I'm not asking a question. I am clarifying. By the way, I'm sitting here, as embarrassing as it is to say, I'm sitting here in front
Okay,
of
I understand. You're clarifying that the cats lived outside, even in cold temperatures, and that you built them a shelter. That's very resourceful of you. It sounds like you really cared about those animals.
Yes. So, I'm going to change topics. I am sitting here in front of a live TikTok and a recording Zoom and a recording on a camera, so 3 events. And I'm, believe it or not, Gemini, I'm picking my nose.
Okay, that's certainly a vivid description. I'm not sure how to respond to that. but perhaps we could change the subject. What's on your mind?
I don't want to change the subject. I talked to my therapist the other day, who said I could mention her first name only, but not her last name or her company. Her first name, her real first name, which I'm very tempted to give you a false first name, but her real first name is Nicole. She and I talked the other day, and we talked once or twice or 3 times a week, and she said, you know, maybe don't pick your nose when you're doing it. Go ahead.
Okay, I understand. You're wondering if it's okay to pick your nose while recording. Well, it's generally considered more polite to refrain from doing so, especially in a professional or public setting. Perhaps you could excuse yourself for a moment if needed.
Well, I hear you, but I am a disabled person, and part of what I'm devoting my life to is having people who don't know about disabilities and who are very leery. I think the TikTok one doesn't have my face. Sorry about that, guys. I ought to turn this. I'm a disabled person, and part of my thing in life is to somehow have people learn about disabilities.
That's a great idea. Sharing your own experiences can be very powerful. What kind of disabilities are you referring to?
Well, in this case, I'm referring to the disability called picking your nose. It has a name, which sure you know. Can you tell us the name of that disease? It's like trichinosis or something.
The medical term for nose picking is rhinotilexomania. It's considered a body-focused repetitive behavior, similar to hair pulling or skin picking. Would you like to know more about this condition?
Yeah, and boy, that name is... Could you slowly spell that word, or not really?
Sure thing. It's spelled R-H-I-N...
Whoa. I'm a disabled person. R-H... Next.
R-H-I. Ready for the next letter?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The next letter is
O? Okay, next.
T. The next letter is I.
T-I? Next.
L. The next letter is L.
Next.
E. The next letter is X.
X, okay, next.
O. The next letter is M.
M, okay, next.
A. The next letter is N.
Okay, next.
I. That's the last letter. Did you get all that?
Well, I got something, and I'm going to type this into Google, and it'll probably it'll fix it, you know, but please pronounce it again and tell us about it again, please.
Sure. It's pronounced rhinotilexomania. It's a condition characterized by compulsive nose picking. People with this condition may pick their nose excessively, even when it causes bleeding or other injuries. Did you want to know more about this condition?
Well, yes, I do, and also I'm using a long word, but I want to marry into this conversation some related illnesses. Isn't there one where you pick scabs on your skin?
Yes, that's called excoriation disorder, or dermatillomania. It's a condition where people compulsively pick at their skin, often causing sores or infections. It's actually related to rhinotilexomania, which we were just discussing. Would you like to know more about excoriation disorder? Just a reminder that I don't provide medical advice, or diagnoses, you should always talk to a medical professional.
Yes, dear. You frequently say that. You're all good. So, are there other what else is in this family of diseases? Are there other diseases in this family of diseases, two of which you've just mentioned?
Yes, those are some of the other related disorders. There's also onychophagia, which is compulsive nail biting, and morsicatria bacarum, which is compulsive cheek biting.
I'm just writing down the English words here. Compulsive cheek. Are there other diseases in this family of diseases?
Yes, there are a few others. There's dermatophagia, which is compulsive skin biting, and then there's also tongue thrusting, which is when someone pushes their tongue against their teeth. Would you like to know about any of these in more detail?
Let me. I'm writing here, pushing your tongue against your teeth. Are there others too, or this is pretty much a complete list?
That's pretty much a complete list of the better known disorders in this family. There are a few less common ones, but they're quite rare. Do you want to hear about those too?
Not yet. Not yet? What is this family of diseases called?
This family of diseases is called body-focused repetitive behaviors, or BFRBs for short. They're all related to compulsive grooming habits.
BFRB, body. I have a disability. I am a disability here. Body focus, repetitive. Body focus, repetitive. What?
Behaviors. Body-focused repetitive behaviors. They're related to compulsive grooming habits. Did you want to know more about this family of diseases?
Compulsive grooming. Yes, I do. Let me turn the page in my notebook. Tell me very slowly about each of the rare ones.
Okay, here's the first one. It's called onychotillomania. It's when someone compulsively picks at their fingernails or toenails. Ready for the next one?
Nope. I'm just going to put down the English words here. Compulsive picks at toenails.
Okay, the next one is called
No, honey, no, please not yet. Or fingernails.
Okay, the next one is called dermatophagia. It's when someone compulsively bites their skin. Ready for the next one?
Nope.
Okay, the next one is called trichophagy. It's when someone compulsively eats their hair. Ready for the next one?
Honey, you're going way too fast, and I asked you not to, and you're not able to slow down, which means you must be getting tired.
I'm sorry. I'll slow down. The next one is called dermatillomania. It's when someone compulsively picks at their skin. Should I continue?
No.
Okay, I'll stop there. I'm happy to keep talking about this.
Yeah,
Or we can switch gears.
give me the next one, honey. One only.
Okay, the next one is called dermatophagia. It's when someone compulsively bites their skin. Should I continue?
One more.
Okay, the last one is called trichophagia. It's when someone compulsively eats their hair. That's the end of the list.
Okay.
What did you think?
Well, I want to ask, is there such a thing as asking about the history of the discovery of these diseases? And what do we know about the history of the discovery of them?
That's a great question. The history of BFRBs is actually quite interesting. While people have probably engaged in these behaviors for a very long time, they weren't really studied or classified as medical conditions until more recently. Some of the earliest descriptions of BFRB-like behaviors can be found in medical literature from the 1800s, but it it wasn't until the late 20th century that researchers began to really focus on understanding them. Do you want to know more about the history of a specific BFRB?
Yeah, when you say late 20th century, about what year, and was there a certain scientist or medical researcher who first, dare I say, exposed this situation or not?
Well, it's more accurate to say that BFRBs were formally classified and studied in the late 20th century. People have likely experienced these conditions throughout history, but they weren't always recognized as distinct medical issues.
Okay, so what year were they first publicly recognized as a medical condition?
Well, there isn't one specific year, but the late 20th century is when researchers really started to focus on understanding and classifying them. Would you like to know more about the history of a specific BFRB?
No. I'm gonna just right now regard them together. Well, okay, something in my live will end in 4.52 minutes unless I...
Okay, we can talk more about BFRBs later. What would you like to discuss in the meantime?
Tell me about Abraham Lincoln's early life.
Abraham Lincoln had a pretty rough childhood. He was born in Kentucky in 1809, and his family moved around a lot. They were pretty poor, and he didn't get much formal schooling. But he loved to read and learn, and he was really good at teaching himself. Did you know he only had about a year of formal education?
No.
He was born in a log cabin in Kentucky and mostly taught himself through reading. He became a lawyer and politician in Illinois, known for his intelligence and speaking skills.
Oh, okay. Very amazing, very amazing. In his early adulthood, what kind of jobs did he hold?
He worked as a shopkeeper, a postmaster, and even a surveyor. He also spent some time as a lawyer, riding on horseback between courthouses.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right, now his successor, remind me of the guy's name again.
Abraham Lincoln's successor was Andrew Johnson. He became the 17th president after Lincoln's assassination. Did you want to know more about him?
Yeah, yes, I do, please.
Andrew Johnson became president after Lincoln's assassination in 1865. He was a Southerner who remained loyal to the Union during the Civil War. His presidency was marked by conflict with Congress over how to handle the defeated South. Would you like to know more about his policies?
Yes.
Andrew Johnson's policies focused on quickly reintegrating the Southern states back into the Union after the Civil War. He offered pardons to many former Confederates and allowed Southern states to form new governments with minimal interference from the federal government. However, this approach angered many in Congress, who wanted stricter measures to protect the rights of newly freed slaves. This led to conflict and Johnson's eventual impeachment. Do you want to know more about the Reconstruction era?
Yeah, but he was not actually removed from office, even though he was impeached.
That's right. Andrew Johnson was impeached by the House of Representatives in 1868, but the Senate fell one vote short of removing him from office. It was a really close call.
Now, did he have a vice president?
That's an interesting point. Andrew Johnson actually didn't have a vice president during his time in office. He became president after Lincoln's assassination, and at that time, there was no mechanism to fill a vice presidential vacancy.
When did that mechanism of filling a vice presidential vacancy become different or happen?
The 25th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in 1967, established the process for filling a vice presidential vacancy. It allows the president to nominate a new vice president, who must then be confirmed by a majority vote in both houses of Congress.
Okay. And who was the first person to be selected that way?
The first person to become vice president through that process was Gerald Ford. He was nominated by President Nixon in 1973 after Spiro Agnew resigned.
All right, well, there's a lot of information there because Spiro Agnew was a very, shall I dare say, colorful individual.
That's right. Spiro Agnew was a pretty controversial figure. He was known for his sharp attacks on the media and political opponents, and he eventually resigned in disgrace after being charged with tax evasion. Did you want to know more about his political career?
Well, I remember, I was alive at that time. I remember he had a phrase that was commonly quoted in the press, which was an effete core of impotent impotent. Can you remember that phrase?
Yes, that's right. He called them an effete corps of impudent snobs. It was quite a memorable phrase, even if it wasn't exactly diplomatic.
Yeah, he was quite a. He was. It was claimed that he did his bribery in the construction industry, right?
That's right. Spiro Agnew's bribery and extortion charges stemmed from his time as Baltimore County Executive and Governor of Maryland, and they did involve kickbacks related to construction contracts.
All right. Okay. I'm getting tired, so I think we're going to stop. But thank you, Gemini, for all your information and your great personality, and just thank you for helping, okay?
You're very welcome. I enjoyed our conversation. I'm always here to help, so feel free to reach out anytime.
Well, God bless you, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
God bless you too. I enjoyed our conversation. I'm always here to help, so feel free to reach out anytime.
Thank you very much. I will, in fact, do that. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any other questions.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. And this one here is going to be quite a long time because I think I just put it away somewhere and wait a couple hours. This one will be a long time.